Hi everybody, welcome to Cooking Together. I'm Chef Nicole and I'm going to show you a delicious quinoa salad. I'm going to go through some of our ingredients and also help you with some simple tips that you can use in the kitchen. We've already pre-cooked the quinoa. You do want to check your labels. Some of your quinoa is going to come pre-rinsed and some of it doesn't. But some of the quinoa that hasn't been pre-rinsed, you're going to want to rinse it thoroughly. And we're going to show you how to do that. Along with that, we've got our vegetable stock. This dish is vegetarian. And so we've used our vegetable stock to cook our quinoa. So we are using 1 3/4 cups of vegetable stock for this recipe to make sure that the quinoa has some great flavor. In addition to that, for our dressing, we're going to be using an olive oil. We've got some baby spinach. This is pre-washed. Here we've got some pre-sliced sun-dried tomatoes. I definitely recommend when you're in the store, do check your label. These sliced sun-dried tomatoes are going to be the easiest to work with. And we've got our lemon, grape tomatoes. I've already cut these in half. I've got our clove of garlic that's going to go into our dressing. We've got some lovely basil. And I've got our bell pepper. Today, I'm going to actually show you 2 different size knives. Usually in my kitchen, I would use a chef's knife or a rocker knife, but I want to show you that if you're maybe new to cooking or you're feeling a little unfamiliar with a large utensil, that there's definitely other sizes available to you. So you've got this smaller knife here that you can use. I'm going to show you how to cut the pepper with that. And then I've also got a small paring knife here that we're going to use to slice the strips of the peppers, just to let you know there's lots of kitchen jobs that you can do with a variety of sized knives, so you can really choose the one you feel most comfortable and confident with. So let's get started. Place 1 cup quinoa in a fine mesh strainer and rinse under cold water for about 30 seconds. In the saucepan, add and combine 1 cup rinsed quinoa and 1 3/4 cups vegetable broth. Set the saucepan over medium-high heat and bring the mixture to a boil. Once boiling, reduce heat to low. Cover with a lid and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, turn off the heat but keep the lid on. Let it sit for 5 minutes to steam. Then remove the lid and fluff the quinoa with a spoon. Let the cooked quinoa cool before using in your salad. And for our peppers, we always want to cut off our bottom and our top. You're going to notice here that I'm using a claw when I'm cutting. That means my fingers are bent and pushed back and my thumb is tucked in behind. We're going to go straight down the side and then we're going to open it up a little bit like an accordion. It just kind of peels open. When you get to that last cut, I like to stand it up on my cutting board and just cut straight down just for safety. And then there you have it. They all come out, all your seeds come out right here. I'm actually going to dice these up for the salad, so I'm going to first cut them into strips, and then I'm just going to cut them the other way into smaller pieces for the salad. And we're just going to build this and put this directly into our bowl. And I'm just going to show you again our slicing with our smaller paring knife, if that's a knife that you are more comfortable with in the kitchen or more familiar with. This is a great starter knife for those who aren't accustomed to the kitchen. As you can see, it does the same job. Might just take a little bit more time, but that's okay. I always say, learn the technique first and the speed will come with experience. So there you have it. We've got our pepper all nicely chopped up. I'm gonna add my grape tomatoes that have been cut. The longest job that we're going to do in this kitchen is actually waiting for the quinoa to cook and making our dressing. Everything else goes pretty quickly. Got our sun-dried tomatoes in here. Let the oil and everything go in there because that's just going to be part of the dressing. Here we have our basil. So here we're going to do what's called a chiffonade, which we're just going to stack our basil up on top of each other. We're going to roll it up. And then we're just going to trim off that little stem and give this a nice little chop. And again, in the bowl it goes. You can see how pretty this looks already. You've got all the different colors going in there. That essentially is all of our vegetable ingredients into our salad. Now I'm just gonna add in our quinoa. The quinoa that I pre-cooked, you can see how all the grains are pretty well separated. You're gonna notice when you cook your quinoa, if you wanna know how to tell that it's done, you're gonna notice it gets like a little tail that uncurls from the grain when it's cooking. So as that starts to happen, you're gonna know that you're really close. Because we're using this in a salad, we really do wanna have it a little bit more dry so that it's fluffy. We don't want it all sticking together. Okay, so you can fluff that with a fork, but you can see it's nice and fluffy. So we're just gonna mix this in. That should be good right there. And then we're just gonna toss our veggies. And you do want to kind of stir it delicately and gently. Like I said, we don't want our quinoa to clump together, to just turn into like clumps or big like balls that are all stuck together. So we do want to just stir it, kind of fold it in. Oh, I almost missed our spinach. I had all that good basil in there and I missed our spinach. I'm just going to take a little tiny bit and we're going to stir that in. I cannot wait to dig into this recipe. Now on to our dressing. So we're just gonna mince the garlic. You could also use the garlic that is in a jar. You could use powdered garlic if that's all you had on hand. That would be totally fine, but fresh garlic is just what I like to use. And for me, I always have it on hand. We're gonna do the juice of a lemon. I'm trying to catch the seeds, so I am just letting the juice go through my fingers. You can use a fancy juicer, you can use a sieve, you can use a lot of different ways to get the juice out. And to that, we're just gonna add a little bit of olive oil. About a 1/4 cup is what we're looking for. And then we are just gonna give this a quick stir. You can add some salt and pepper to this as well. And here I'm putting in the oregano. I find it just much easier than the like pepper mill or the salt, but whatever works best for you at home is totally fine. Just a little pinch of each. The great thing about these salad dressing recipes and a lot of the things that we're doing is they don't have to be precise. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can add a little more of this and a little more of that depending on what you like best. So we've got our dressing here. One of the good tips that I learned in culinary school was when you're making a salad dressing is to take a leaf that you're gonna eat with the salad and test it. It's a great way to know if you've hit the right mark. I really like that. So we're just gonna drizzle this over the top. If it was too strong or too lemony, you could add a little bit of honey, you could add a little bit of Dijon mustard. You do a lot of things to just change the flavor profile, but I really like this just how it is. I'm gonna give it one more little toss to get that spinach in there and the dressing. And there you have it. A delicious quinoa salad filled with a rainbow of vegetables. This is a perfect midweek meal, one to share with friends. And this is a great meal for chefs of all ages to create and put on their table any day of the week.